Call Village of North Fond du Lac Board of Trustees to order Monday, January 21st. Audience members are requested to sign in at the sheet provided at the registration table. Citizens wishing to be heard on topics not listed on the agenda may speak under item C. Citizens may be given an opportunity to speak during discussion of items listed on the agenda and are allowed 3 minutes for comments. Disruptive discussion or profanity will not be allowed. Roll call of officers.
King.
Here.
Rice.
Here.
Streeter.
Here.
Stutz.
Here.
Will.
Here.
Pledge allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Citizen participation. Citizens are to address the board only. Statements are limited to 3 minutes. The board may not respond to items not listed on the agenda. However, you may ask for an item to be placed on future agendas. Is there any citizen participation tonight? Seeing none. Moving on, announcements, communications. Anybody have anything?
You had something, right?
Four.
School district?
Oh, yeah, school district had a, thank you, had an open house last week. I'm sure everybody got a flyer in the mail that lived in the district. And they are way ahead of schedule, so they're hoping for a May dedication. And Aaron Sadoff extended a invitation if the board or staff wants to go over, if we want to take a group through, be more than willing to accommodate us. So keep your eyes peeled for that next announcement for the dedication. So that's pretty exciting. Everything's coming along really well. It looks really nice. All right. President's business and staff reports, library.
I have a report for Heather. She wanted me to mention that the story times begin February 1st. They have a paint night coming up on February 21st, which I think we talked about the last time. Contact the library for more details on that. They have been busy ordering the summer reading program materials, and the annual report statistics gathering will begin by the end of January. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you. Lakeside Municipal Court.
Over the last 7 years, we've been processing approximately 10,200 citations a year. Last year, we processed 10,847. With the addition, the city of Ripon is now joined with the court as of January 1st. And with that addition, we have six different locations that we hold court, and it's about 11 sessions per month. And for the first time in 22 years and 8 elections, there's a contest for the position of municipal judge. There's an alderman in the city of Ripon that entered the race, and Judge Jay has proudly announced that he is running for another term.
Thank you. Thank you. Administrator Nate.
Thank you. Last week I attended both the TSC, Technical Services Committee, and the Outlying Sewer Group Executive Committee meetings. The city treatment plant has installed a new system that's up and running that's actually from the Netherlands. It's called Animox. It's an Animox system. It's a way to remove ammonia by Pox is the brand, so the developers of that. It's actually the first one in the United States, actually in North America. So they're seeing about 88% for removal of ammonia with the process at this point. It's actually to help with the phosphorus removal that we've been talking about for so long. But it's pretty exciting news. You'll probably see something coming out in the future with some news releases on that. Attended the Plan Commission last Tuesday night. We approved the combining of 2 lots on Winnebago Street and the dead end of Winnebago Street where the storage units had been built a couple years ago. We also approved the remodel demolition proposal for the school at the Early Learning Center on Minnesota Avenue. They're going to be demoing part of that building, adding a parking lot, a driveway. So we reviewed that site plan. Along with the Plan Commission also reviewed a annexation request by a resident of the town of Fond du Lac and forwarded that onto the village board, which it's on hold right now until some things are taken care of from the homeowner standpoint. Also, this time of the year is busy in the front office with finishing up 2018 expenses, and right now we have to look at all the invoices to make sure they're coded to the right year, 2018 versus 2019. We do have about a week and a half now where we can still run 2018 invoices, and also just cleaning up reports from 2018. And then there's a lot of renewal of contracts and agreements and services that are coming due this time of the year, so that there's just a lot of paperwork going on with that. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Do you have anything for you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Fire your mess. Jake?
Thanks. We finalized the Waupun contract, so both us and SSM came to an agreement, and we're essentially just waiting on the signature from them so we can put it in place. And then once that's completed, we'll have meetings with staff and then also with the representative from SSM in Waupun to discuss how we're gonna handle this moving forward. They average right around 8 to 10 transports a week out of that hospital, so hopefully, we're capable of taking most of them within our time that we're staffed. So there's that. Tomorrow night we will be starting an emergency services instructor course. There's 6 or 7 of us taking that class, the same 7 that took Officer 1 last semester. So we'll be going through that. It'll allow us to help out instructing potentially at area technical colleges, so on and so forth, for fire and EMS. And lastly, we will have Gary Peck, who's the representative for District 4 for SPS, and they will be doing an audit on like our trainings and staffing that we currently have, response times, fire prevention, programs that we have here. But the main thing throughout that whole audit is staffing and training that we're doing. So we'll be doing that on Wednesday, the 23rd of this month. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mike,
Yep.
when do you expect Waupun Hospital will start taking that?
I was hoping by today, but I'm assuming this week that'll be done. Yeah, it should be a quick turnaround. It just, somebody from Waupun Memorial actually has to sign it, so between going from Indiana, where their headquarters is, to Waupun, could take that transfer of information a little bit of time, but should be sooner than later. Yep, definitely.
Public Works, Darren.
Thank you. Crew repaired a water main in the 700 block of Minnesota Avenue this last week. After repairing it the first time, it blew up again near some water services. So we decided to replace a full 15-foot section of main and retap both of the services that were in that area. Took a day for us to get it clamped, so we had it temporarily patched overnight. The crew also replaced a leaking gate valve up on Chapman Avenue and Broadway Street. The valve began leaking after we used it to isolate a section of main to repair a hydrant over on Vashon and Broadway. So we cut in a new valve in that intersection. Nick and I have been reviewing applications for the janitor's position, starting to schedule interviews for mid to late this week with applicants that we feel look promising. And the last thing is I'm still in the process of dealing with FEMA to submit necessary paperwork for our reimbursement from the storm back in August.
Thank you. Consent agenda, approve the minutes of the following village board meeting from the 7th of January 2019, and approve invoices and authorized checks to be drawn on their respective funds as indicated. General fund, $70,672.07. Library fund, $2,446.82. EMS fund, $5,668.23. Water department, $16,519.93. Wastewater department, $5,891.69. Community Development Authority TIF, $17.27. Stormwater fund, $731.35, for a grand total of $101,947.36. What is the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
Take a second.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Will, second by Stutz to approve the consent agenda as read. Are there any questions? Ann?
I just had a question, page 8, Titan Public Safety Solutions. If you could give us some background on that. It came to $16,061. There's a $13,523 and a $2,538 right at the bottom of the page. I think it is.
Yeah, Connie just left. That is our tips. That's the system the court uses for all of their traffic citations and,
Oh, okay.
yep.
Because, so,
And it's based on citations.
I
numbers.
looked up the budget and it looks like we only budgeted $14,000.
And that could have changed after because of adding
Okay.
Ripon. Does
Oh,
that make sense?
okay.
It's based on, and Ripon will pay that.
Oh, okay.
They're responsible to pay that cost. That's probably the 2,500, I'm guessing.
Okay. And then I just had one more, if that's okay. Page 10, core and main, $6,750.
Darren can answer that one.
Which page is that?
Page 10.
Core and main.
Yep.
iPearl, Darren.
Oh, water, 3/4 inch water meters that we're gonna be replacing this
Okay.
year.
Yeah, and it looked like we had $55,000 budgeted for the year, so that makes sense. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. G, administrative, number 1, discussing and review of the 2019 fire department apparatus purchase. Victor?
Thank you. So, I had shown you the proposal, the options list a couple weeks ago, and it hasn't really changed from that day. There's been some minor modifications for changing siren location, and I think that was just about it. The last changes that we made that were different from what you're seeing on the drawing. That's about it. The total cost will be $628,815. What was budgeted for was $650,000, so we're under budget in that aspect. So that's kind of that.
So is that with the discount, that price?
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
We
so
get
it actually
about
spec'd
yeah.
out was $650, $515. And then we have a $21,000, it's $21,700 as a discount for paying early.
So we pay the whole amount, or we pay a certain percentage when we order?
Pay the whole amount to get the 3%. It's a 3% discount, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you pay the whole amount right up front, you get 3% discount.
And the 3% jump happens on February 1st.
Can you explain some of the things that, you know, that light bar you talked about? You talked about this truck is a rescue truck, is kind of a combination between a rescue and fire truck.
Correct, yeah.
I mean-
The biggest thing on this vehicle compared to our other engines is the storage capacity that's on it. The cabinets are larger. We gain an extra cabinet essentially on the passenger side in width. There's storage up on top of the body, so we gain that storage, which is huge, so we can make sure that we can fit all of our equipment on there. As far as the light tower goes, there has been issues in the past with being able to adequately light a scene, mainly for safety, so we're not falling and tripping, slipping, so on and so forth, while we're working. So that light tower is definitely a key to this vehicle, so that way, when we're operating, it's safe and that we can see.
You talked about the larger truck will have more of a presence, like on 41 and stuff, right?
Yeah, we haven't necessarily pieced together, depending on space that we have in this vehicle, what's all gonna be put onto it, and what it's all gonna be used for, because it could be used for a lot more than what our current engine is being used for. So once we narrow that down, that'll help out, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely bigger.
I do like, I mean, this is kind of the wave of the future, putting more stuff on one truck and I'm glad we're looking
Yeah.
to the future here, so. Is this truck longer than the old one?
No, it's actually 6 inches shorter. It's in both aspects, height and length.
No problems fitting inside?
No. Yeah.
Expected delivery?
9 months, typically.
9 months.
8-9 months is what they're projecting out, so.
I mean, what else do I have? I guess I got a question for Nick. It's just not so much on, it's on the fire truck and also with the garbage truck. When we make these large budgeted items, why don't we figure in the factor of the trade? And I understand this truck is, we're trading, it's worth quite a bit of money, right?
Yeah, potentially. You know, it'll go through a bidding process on Wisconsin Surplus, and it depends on, you know, who's looking for a vehicle, so on and so forth, and if there's high demand for a vehicle, so there's obviously a lot of aspects to take into consideration, but
It's just like the garbage truck, I think.
Yeah, but in the garbage trucks, we do, for the most part, we do assume there's a trade-in value. And the garbage truck, if Darren can speak to that, was actually, we got quite a discount on that because it,
One of the things is we bought a demo truck, was one of the reasons we saved some money. And they weren't ready to give us a estimate on trade-in until we were taking delivery of the other truck because of mileage or accidents or anything that could happen.
so we do, in a sense, in that case, we do assume some value. I know we do with the squads and the PD too, we assume some trade-in value. In the case of the garbage truck, like Darren said, we ended up getting a demo model, which was quite a bit cheaper than a brand new model. In the case of this truck, I guess, I wasn't involved early on in the process of coming up with that $650,000 price tag. I think, with an expense that large, it's probably hard to, I'm gonna guess the 650 was a bit of a, it was a close number, but it was
Yeah.
also, early on in the process, it was probably a bit of a guess, and then it ended up being relatively close in the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Through the budget process,
Yeah.
but at that point, you're right, we probably didn't assume, when we got to actual budget process, we didn't assume, because we did know that 650,000 at that point, we didn't assume a trade-in value.
Maybe when budget time comes, when we budget for
Yep.
items, we look at that a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for Jake? I appreciate the department's hard work on getting this all together, so look
Thanks.
forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I want to thank
Thanks for
some of the guys
information.
in this room, Tyler Hicken and Doug Parman, Pat Stefani. They all sat in on the truck committee and put in enough hours to get this done, so thanks to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just to summarize the purchase, what we do, and we've already talked with Chris about this, is we'll actually, I think this actually came up in a previous discussion, but as you know, we usually don't borrow till later in the year, probably June, July timeframe, we'll borrow the money. This will be part of that borrow, however, we have plenty of money sitting right now in our accounts to upfront the money right now. So that's what we'll do right now, to get the discount, and then when we borrow for it, we'll reimburse ourselves.
Thanks. Before we move on, Darren, did you have anything for your report?
Yeah, I apologize for my tardiness.
No worries.
I'm going to pass around a couple of things. The first one is the monthly report for the month of December. And then the second one is just an annual report for all of 2018, kind of the same format, just to give you an idea of what we've been doing, where we're at. And then as far as my report goes, last week, most of the staff participated in Fond du Lac County in-service training, which we've had the opportunity to do now for the last 3 years. It's a great opportunity because it gives us the chance to conduct that training locally, save us all the drive time and hotel bills and all that kind of stuff. And then also, each year, we get a say in what is going to be part of that training, so it makes it a little bit more personal, a little bit greater value to us. This year, some of the topics included critical incident, and when I say critical incident, I don't mean like mass shootings or anything. I'm talking about trauma-informed care, taking care of people who are experiencing mental crises or personal crises at the moment, and then also local drug trends. So some very timely topics and some great value in that for us. And then from a staffing standpoint, our sergeant candidate, Clarissa Justman, starts next Monday, the 28th. I think I've mentioned this in the past. She's actually coming to us from State Patrol. She's been there for the last 5 years, so we're excited to have her on board. And I had mentioned at the last board meeting that we had an officer who was leaving to go to Oshkosh PD. He's gone, but that's why I was tardy tonight. I was actually doing a chief's interview with another candidate to hopefully fill that vacancy. So And then Steve Schmidt is in field training. I think he's in week 5 right now. Things are going well, so that's all I have.
Thanks, Nick. Go ahead, Mike.
This one that you had, talking to the state patrol, I mean, that getting online should be the first turnaround or not? I mean, I don't know how much the state patrol.
And it's exactly it. I've never hired somebody who had 5 years of state patrol experience. There are certainly a lot of things that are going to transition very smoothly, very quickly. She's probably going to be training us on how to do a lot of the traffic stuff. But there are also aspects of the job, not only from a department standpoint, but there are things that local law enforcement and county law enforcement get involved in that state patrol typically doesn't, from a criminal standpoint. So I would expect it to be faster than a typical turnaround, but maybe not as quick as somebody who, say, would come from like Fond du Lac Police Department or something, that where a lot more of that stuff transitions. But I think it'll be a quicker turnaround.
All right, moving down to communications. Any communications? Any new business? Can I get a motion to go into closed session, please?
I'll make a motion to go into closed session, discussion of personnel issue under Wisconsin State Statutes 1985, sub 1C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, and performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. A IAFF contract, B, village administrator performance review.
We got a second?
I second that motion.
A motion by King, second by Price. Go into closed session. Make it a roll call, please.
King.
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
Streeter.
Yes.
Stutz.
Yes.
Will.
Yes.